guys, how you doing? Ben with Big Stuff here. Welcome to another video going over our version 2.5 software update. So in this latest update, you're going to be able to come into the inputs and outputs section and add a name of your choice to all of the different IO of the system. So if I was to come over here to the system menu and go to pin configuration, you will now see that you have the ability to add custom names to all of your inputs and outputs. Okay, so what that means is for every PWM, as listed down here, every digital output listed on the right, analog inputs in the middle, and the digital inputs on the left, you'll be able to change those names to whatever you want. Okay, so let's just say, for example, over here, I'm on this fan 1 output, but I'm not actually using it for fan 1, okay? I don't want to use it for the fan control. I would just click general purpose output number 5, and then let's just say I'm going to call it a relay. I'm going to call this relay 1, okay? Relay 1 output. So now, when I set that in there, you're now going to have the ability in your logs to choose the relay 1 output, and that will then correspond to this output in the software. Okay, this can be in caps locks, this can be not. So some guys do everything in caps. Doesn't really matter. You can do it any which way you want. Okay, so you can add these custom names to anything. Okay, so this is the pin configuration, but you also can come over to, if I go system, pressure and sensor configuration, well, now you can add custom names to everything inside here as well. So for example, for the default in this section was always shock data. So if instead of the right front shock, maybe I'm not looking at right front shock, okay? Maybe I am looking at the converter charge PSI. Okay, well now I can name it to converter charge PSI, adjust my scaling. Most sensors are going to be the 0.5 volt to 4.5 volt scale, and then you're going to adjust your scaling here of your sensor. And now on all your logs, it's going to be called converter charge PSI. Okay, you can go through, you can rename all these different ones here as well. You can change your pan vacuum. So if you're not using pan vacuum as a default for the pan vacuum sensor, okay, you can also click other. And now instead of it being the pan vacuum sensor, you can now name this to a different type of sensor if you would. So let's just say this was a travel sensor. Okay, well now I can call it travel sensor. Adjusted the range based on the scaling, which is typically, again, 0.5 to 4.5 volts. And you can now change that range to match with your travel sensor. Okay, so all the IO names can be changed. Now, if I come over to the system section, we don't have it released yet. I'm sorry, down here, the expansion module section here. This is new. We don't have the expansion modules released yet, but you'll be able to come in here. You're going to have 16 more 0 to 5s, okay? And inside here, you're going to be able to add any name you want to these 16 0 to 5 volt inputs. So if I come over here to the custom name, I could just call it custom 1 EXP for the expansion module. And again, scale it, and you're off and running for that new input, okay? This will also apply to my digital inputs as well as the resistance inputs on the expansion module. The expansion module on the resistance inputs will let you choose from our default 5 different sensors, your standard GM scaling. You've got your forward scaling if you're running a forward air temperature sensor. You've got a RIFE low temperature, RIFE higher temperature, and you can also have the custom 1 scaling. But again, this is just a resistance-based sensor, so you can call this anything that you want. So let's just say we're doing a fuel level gauge on this custom one. So fuel level. Okay, so now on this custom, it would be fuel level. Okay, or maybe I want to just say that I have the RIFE high air temperature. Well, I would call this RIFE high IAT sensor. Okay, And again, this will come up in your log as the Rife High IAT sensor. Okay. So all your custom names can be configured any which way you want. This is mainly so that when you're pulling out your logs or starting a laptop log, you will see everything listed here. So if I start this data log, for example, okay, I'm going to come over here, come over here. So now if I go back to one of the ones I had custom named, I had called the fan 1 output. Instead of fan 1, I called it the relay 1 output. So now if I come over here to this section here, I have relay 1 output. Okay, so it'll come up here in my log. So now you could actually trigger that input output, and instead of it being called fan 1, it's called relay 1 output. Okay, we had also changed in the pressure and sensor configuration the left front shock to converter charge PSI. So if I come over here and I look in the C section, it's alphabetical. There's my converter charge PSI. Okay, so those names will apply to both a laptop log as well as the data logger. Okay, so as you pull up an onboard SD card log, those names will also be referenced here in this log as well. If you wanted to go back and you wanted to reset any of your custom names, you can come in here to the system menu, reset custom names, go to pin configuration, and then you could reset them each one by one if you want, or we can just click reset custom names and it'll do all of them. So if I do reset custom names, okay, I press the button and I do pin configuration, okay, you're going to see here that they go back to their factory names. So this is in case you sell in the box, you want to start over for whatever reason. It makes it quick, it makes it easy. It'll just go right back to the default names. So again, very functional, very nice part of the version 25 update. Stay tuned for more videos, and thank you for using BigStuff.